Hey shooters, welcome back to the Shooters Resource Channel. Today we're going to be comparing the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, which was released earlier last year, and the Smith & Wesson CSX, which was released later in the year. Now these are two very different firearms, but can be used for similar purposes. This is a striker fire, micro compact, and this is a single action only micro compact. Now this is part one in a two-part video. We're going to be looking today just at tabletop, comparing the two differences, and then later in the week we'll be releasing a full video of shooting the two side by side. Alright, so both guns are empty. This Shield Plus does have the TLR6. This is a great flashlight. This is the standard offering for the Shield, and it also fits on the Shield Plus. It does not fit on the CSX, which I wish they would have made it where they would be interchangeable, because this is a great flashlight laser combo. Both of these guns have their 10-round magazines in, and you can see just looking dimensionally, I'm not going to pull up the specs or anything like that, but the CSX is smaller. So if you look at slide length, the overall slide length on the CSX is definitely shorter. If you include the tang length, then they're about equal, but I wouldn't really worry too much about the tang length. You can see just overall barrel and slide is smaller. Now when you look at height of the gun, with both of them having their 10-round magazines in, the CSX is shorter. So you got an overall smaller footprint with the CSX. And when it comes to potentially trying to pocket carry these guns, the Smith & Wesson Plus is a little big. You could probably pull it off with the right pockets for the CSX and the right holster, of course. Now, as mentioned, this is a single action only. It's got a lot of 1911 style controls. So if you're into that, this gun has you covered with the safety. Slide release is very similar, but it's got the Smith & Wesson style mag release, the shape and everything. But it's pretty good. This is an aluminum frame and steel slide, stainless steel slide. Now there is a little wear on this gun. I do use it. I haven't cleaned it. It's got, mud and, different things on it. You can see a little wear there. That's from using the Shield Plus holster. This gun does not fit in it, but it works in a pinch. And later on, I'll probably end up purchasing a holster for this gun. I am going to end up keeping it, despite some of the things that we'll cover today and maybe some of the things you've heard on the internet. The Shield Plus, great gun. This is by far my favorite micro compact that's come out this year. So spoiler alert, I do really like the Shield Plus. I've had two different variants of it, the 4-inch Performance Center, and this is just the standard version. All right, again, this TLR6 is really great. You can see there, I've got the flashlight and laser combo. What was cool is I sighted this laser in on the 4-inch performance version and swapped this flashlight over to this gun, and it's essentially sighted in. So it just shows you that the fitment that Streamlight is giving with this light is excellent. Now I'm going to take this light off and we can weigh this gun. All right, so we've got the flashlight off. Now I will mention one thing I forgot to mention about the magazine. Although both of these guns are sporting their 10-round magazine, if you remember back from my full review on the CSX, the 10-round magazine only fits 9 for me. So I can't get 10 in here. I don't have weak thumbs. I've had several magazines where people have reached out to me and said, hey, I can't fit the full capacity in there, and I'm almost always able to get the full capacity in there. But this one definitely will not. I've got 10 rounds in this mag, and it would not feed properly. And it has 10 right there on the mag, so I'm not imagining things. This is a 10-round mag. So, all right, let's go ahead and we'll weigh these two guns to see the difference. So this is my Goodwill scale. Don't make fun of it. It's probably used in some crimes and stuff like that before, but I got it for just a couple bucks, and we'll use it to make a comparison. All right, so with an empty 10-round mag, the CSX weighs 1 pound 3.5 ounces. And the Shield Plus weighs 1 pound, 4.1 ounces. So there's, essentially the same weight. You're not going to really be able to tell the difference. Now the CSX comes with a 12-round magazine that's almost the same size as the 10-round. It's about a little over 1/8 of an inch difference. Let's measure that difference right there, because it's incredibly small, and you are able to get 12 rounds in here. At least I was able to, and it would feed and reliably cycle. So I was wrong. It's almost 1/4 of an inch longer. You can see right there what the difference is in that sleeve. So for a little less than 1/4 of an inch, you can get 2 extra rounds, really 3 extra rounds for me. If you look at a 9x19, this bullet is almost 4/10 of an inch in terms of size. All right, so let's talk about some other things between the two. As I mentioned before, the Shield Plus is a polymer. Well, the Shield Plus is a polymer gun. It is available with safety if you would like that. I do not prefer the safety, but it's a polymer with a stainless steel slide. And your CSX is a aluminum frame, polymer back strap and front strap, stainless steel slide. So again, this little guy right here, because of the aluminum frame, is coming in, and probably the extra steel controls, is coming in almost the same weight. Now the actions are different. We talked a little bit about that. Let me drop the mag out of here. So one thing I do like about the CSX, it's got ambidextrous controls. So you have slide lock is on both sides, and it's pretty easy to engage. I had no problem getting to the controls on this pistol when I was running drills, working on reloading drills. Whereas with certain smaller guns like the SIG P365, I've had trouble kind of engaging them. But I think that they did a really good job of making all the controls very easy to get to. Now there have been people that have complained in my comment section, or I've seen on the internet, that like their safety isn't positive or they've got some defects. This gun that I've got, it's a sample size of 1, has no defects. In those means, the safety works really well. The slide lock works really well. The mag release works really well. So controls on this is an A+, no problems at all. I don't mind the safety on a single action gun. One thing they got right about the trigger on the single action, and I don't mind the trigger safety neither. I actually like that better than a backstrap safety, just a personal preference. But one thing that they got right on this gun is the travel distance of the trigger and the reset. Both are extremely short. So those are two things I appreciate. Something that I think they could have improved on is the weight of the trigger. And I mentioned that in the full-length review. The weight of this trigger is heavier than the Shield Plus. There's no doubt about it. Well, maybe it's not. I don't know. They're pretty close. I need to get a trigger gauge. Yeah, I think it's just a little heavier on the CSX. But I think that the reason why it feels heavier on the CSX is you just seem to have a little more leverage on the Shield Plus. To me, in terms of micro compacts, the Shield Plus's trigger is definitely the best that I've encountered. I think that with the CSX being a single action, they had an opportunity to really give it a phenomenal trigger. And they dropped the ball a little bit. It's not the worst trigger ever. But when I went to go buy this gun, I bought it before a lot of reviews were out on physical firearms. Actually, before pretty much any reviews were out on physical firearms. I think maybe 1 or 2 channels had one. But either way, my expectation was this trigger was going to be phenomenal, especially after the release and the phenomenal trigger that they get put on the Shield Plus. All right, some other things that I like. What I really think they did right on the Shield Plus is they made it compatible with a lot of the regular Shield stuff. For instance, this holster that I bought was for a standard Shield. I got it right after the Shield Plus was released. I was able, it's completely compatible with the Shield Plus, so that was really good. I think with the CSX, they should have had a little more compatibility. I mean, this thing is like a really tight interference fit. It works, but it's just, you're really going to end up messing the finish up on the firearm using a holster like that. So the controls are a lot wider on this. Let's go ahead, while we've got the calipers out, zero them out, and let's take some measurements. So the slide width on the CSX, right there at about 0.9. Take it in a couple locations. Yeah, so I mean, you're essentially 0.92. Do it like that. Yep, so 0.92, 0.93. Let's check out the Shield Plus. Oh yeah, it's actually thinner. So I don't know why. Maybe just because it's the different actions. But the Shield Plus slide is thinner. And if we look, definitely the controls are thinner on the Shield Plus. They're more streamlined. So you're right at 1 inch right there at the slide release, which is probably the widest part, or right there the takedown pin. So you're right at 1 inch at both of those places. And a lot of times the heel of the grip will be kind of wide too. So let's see where we're at right there. So yeah, just a little over an inch. An inch and 50 or 60 thou. So when we look at the CSX, again, the slide coming in just slightly wider, not much, about 20 or 30 thou, which isn't much at all. And then if we look at the, obviously when you have an ambidextrous or slide release, you're going to be a little wider. So you see there we're 1.12, and then if we check the heel of the grip, right here, let's try the aluminum first, because you do have an option to swap the backstrap out to a thinner backstrap, and I think that doesn't add any real width to the overall grip, but you do lose some texturing. The texturing to me feels really good on both guns. They do a really good job these days on texturing. But yeah, if we check it right there at the actual, let's pull it right here where the grip pad is with these wider grips, which they feel really good to me. So you're at 1 point, I mean, just when we talk about widths, I mean, you're talking within, 20 thousandths or so. So not much to speak of. Yep, so 1.09 at the ambi safety. So that's, and again, if we check back here, yeah, we're at, yeah, so you're talking 1/16 of an inch max in overall width differences between the two guns. So again, trigger definitely goes to the Shield Plus. I think the trigger is better on the Shield Plus. I think that this should have had a better trigger, honestly. Texture, ergonomics, I think both guns feel great. The texturing on the Shield Plus, the texturing on the CSX, they feel, pretty much the same. I'm not mad that this is all left without texture. I don't really need any texturing. It actually feels fine on my thumb. Feels really good. I had no problem shooting this gun really flat. I like the ambi controls on here. The slide release on this Shield Plus is a beast. So I would say in terms of controls, the mag release is fine. I would give the controls to the CSX. I think the controls are better on the CSX. Now, I did hear some quality problems. This gun doesn't have any of them with the controls. Maybe they'll show up after a higher round count. I'm not sure. But I would give controls to CSX. I don't care for a safety on a gun, but with a single action only, that's fine. I'm accustomed to knocking the safety off when I'm drawing, so it's not a big problem either way. All right, when it came to sights, both are coming with steel sights. I don't know if I've seen like a performance version of the CSX. That would be kind of cool. But you can get performance version of the Shield Plus, and it will come with fiber optic sights and some other different upgrades. But yeah, so sights are both steel, 3-dot, fine by me. Accuracy, I would give the slight edge to the Shield Plus. Not saying that it's mechanically more accurate than the CSX. I just find it easier to make hits at a longer range. It's a little bit larger gun, and it's got a better trigger. Capacity definitely goes to the Shield Plus. I mean, they're both fairly close. You get a 13-round magazine. It's a larger gun for sure, and the 10-rounder holds 10 rounds like it should. So I have no problem getting 10 rounds in my Shield Plus. The CSX, essentially, it has a 10-round that only holds 9, and then you have a 12-round. But the 12-round fits well in my hand. Everything's good with it. I don't mind it a bit. And I feel comfortable shooting with the 10-round too. Pinky is halfway off for me. I've got medium-sized hands. What else is there to say about them? Well, which one do I like more? I think both have different purposes. This is a little bit smaller profile gun. It's single action only. If I was carrying a 1911 or other things, then this might be the gun that I go to. I'm going to probably end up keeping this in the collection, at least for a while, because I enjoy shooting it. It's new to me. The Shield Plus, to me, is just, you know, an A+. This is my favorite micro compact that came out last year. I don't mind buying extra magazines, and I don't mind buying holsters for this gun because it's going to stay in my collection for a while. Great all-around delivery on the Shield Plus. I would say the CSX, you know, probably a B overall. Just a few things I think could have been done different. Now, I'll take it out to the range tomorrow, shoot them side by side, and maybe my opinion will change. You guys will have to check that out in part 2 of the video. All right, all in all, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for stopping by the Shooter's Resource channel. And as always, thank you all, and God bless.